On February 4th, Storm Leonardo brought prolonged and exceptionally intense weather conditions to Spain, marking one of the most disruptive storm events in recent years. The storm system has primarily affected the southern half of the country, with Andalusia bearing the brunt of the impact as days of persistent torrential rainfall, strong winds, and unstable atmospheric conditions have led to widespread flooding, rising river levels, and severe pressure on water management infrastructure. The Spanish State Meteorological Agency reported extraordinarily high rainfall accumulations across multiple provinces, with some areas registering between 200 and more than 400 liters per square meter within a short time frame. These volumes, combined with already saturated soils from previous storms earlier in the winter, significantly increased surface runoff and reduced the land's capacity to absorb additional water. As a result, rivers rapidly exceeded normal levels, drainage systems were overwhelmed, and flash flooding occurred in both urban and rural areas. Red level weather alerts, the highest warning category, were issued in several parts of Andalusia, including Malaga, Cadiz, Granada, Huelva, and mountainous inland zones, as meteorologists warned of continued rainfall and further deterioration of conditions. Floodwaters inundated residential neighborhoods, industrial zones, and agricultural land, causing extensive disruption to daily life and economic activity. Transport networks were heavily affected, with numerous major and secondary roads closed due to flooding, debris, or landslide risk. Rail services were partially or fully suspended in several corridors as tracks became submerged or unsafe. Power cuts and communication outages were reported in multiple municipalities, further complicating emergency response efforts. Local authorities ordered the suspension of school classes and public activities in high-risk areas, while emergency shelters were opened to accommodate displaced residents. As river levels continued to rise, authorities initiated large-scale evacuations, moving more than 3,000 people from flood-prone zones as a preventive measure. Evacuations were concentrated in areas near rivers, reservoirs, and low-lying terrain, where the risk of sudden flooding was highest. Emergency services were deployed to assist residents, reinforce flood defenses, and conduct rescue operations where necessary. Officials emphasized that the evacuations were precautionary but necessary given the unpredictable nature of water flows during such extreme weather events. A critical element of the emergency response has been the controlled discharge of water from dams and reservoirs across southern Spain. Water management authorities confirmed that approximately 50 reservoirs in Andalusia were actively releasing water in a regulated manner to lower reservoir levels and create additional storage capacity ahead of further rainfall. Officials stressed that the dam discharges were carried out in accordance with established safety protocols and coordinated with emergency services downstream. Nevertheless, the combination of heavy rainfall and reservoir releases contributed to rapidly rising river flows, increasing flood risks in downstream communities. Particular concern was expressed over river systems linked to the Guadiana Basin, where elevated discharges and cross-border water flows raised water levels along stretches of the river affecting both Spain and neighboring Portugal. Authorities on both sides of the border maintained constant communication to manage the evolving situation and mitigate potential downstream impact. Meteorologists cautioned that Storm Leonardo is part of a broader pattern of increasingly intense winter storms affecting the Iberian Peninsula, with climate variability contributing to heavier rainfall episodes and more frequent extreme events.